The first 12 months of retirement. Everyone tells you retirement is amazing. Every day is Saturday. They're right. But there's also emotional events, I'll call them, or yeah, I don't know, I guess I'll call them emotional events that no one warned me about that caused a little, stress, some whiplash, um, that nobody warned you about. You think it's all about money and free time, and nothing else goes on in your head, and that's just not true. There's a stress release that I went through. There's an identity shift. There's some guilt that you may have, and restlessness, just to name a couple. The first year isn't about money problems. I really didn't experience that. 2019 was a pretty good year financially. Um, but it's about me changing just in my own head. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's not coming across as rambling. So I wrote down 16 kind of emotional things I went through in my first 12 months of retirement. Thought you'd find this interesting. Like always, this content comes from your comments. Somebody asked me this question. So there you go. And if we have not met, my name is Joe. I retired 7 years ago. Man, can't believe it's gone that fast. I'm currently 61 years old. I'm going to be 62 in a few months. And I'm sharing my journey to help you on your journey. Let's jump right in. Number one, emotional decompression. Delayed stress release from all the stress that I was under. I, like you, thought I was under no stress. I laughed when people said I was under stress. I loved the game. I loved the excitement. But once I retired, I did not realize I was carrying a 15-pound weight around my neck every single day. I didn't realize it because I was just so used to it. And it takes a while for that stress to just decompress. It was very real for me and one of my biggest issues. No therapy from it, but it was shocking to me. The second shocking thing to me is later in the list. Number two, identity whiplash. Who am I? I was in an executive, managing a plant, respected position, engineer. Now I'm just Joe. I actually love that transition. That's who I secretly was my entire career, just Joe. And this did not cause me any stress, but it was very real that I'm just Joe now, just Joe the neighbor, Joe the guy that shovels your driveway. If it's got snow, I just did this last week. We got 12 inches of snow, and I shoveled a couple extra driveways for people that needed help. Number three, restlessness, a constant itch to do and accomplish something. My entire career was built on getting things done and accomplished and feeling good about that accomplishment at the end of the day. Well, you do that for 32 years and then you just let that down. It's weird. It's weird just waking up on a Tuesday and you don't have to accomplish anything. You can put it off till tomorrow. You can be a procrastinator, do whatever you want. But especially early on, I was trained to run in fifth gear, to run at 100 miles an hour with my hair on fire. I was trained for that and did it well. And then you go from that to strolling through life, stopping and smelling the roses and not having a meeting at 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. I don't have anything this afternoon. Restlessness. Got over it quick. Number four, slowing down. I guess I bleeded my last one over into this. Slowing down feels unnatural. Number five, guilt for not being productive. Everybody's going to work, everybody's getting things done, and I'm not. I had a to-do list, that I, was getting excited about, work around the house, little accomplishments I wanted to make. I thought it would take me a couple years to get these things done. got them done in a couple months, just because I didn't realize how much time I would have in retirement. I know it's silly. 100% of my focus pre-retirement was on money. Okay. And then all these things hit you, the realities of being retired. Number 6, most of my friends were still working. I was in charge of my own social calendar. I didn't have these automatic things from my work and work events and talking about work. All that's stripped away. And now you're retired, you got a blank sheet of paper. And I was in charge of my social calendar. I started a study group. My travel, my wife and I try to take 4 to 5 vacations a year. Some of those are just going to see our kids. Some of them are pretty big, trying to get those go-go years in. While my wife is younger than me, she's still in her 50s. I'm 61, as I stated. But a lot of friends are still working, and you got to manage that yourself. Your social calendar. Number 7, spending becomes lumpy. Real life doesn't follow your spreadsheet. They don't follow your 4% rule. Expenses move up and down greatly month to month. If you're traveling one month, if another month is a wedding, another month is, you want to buy something for the house, you need a new roof, or it's just all over the place. And that got a little stressful, and like, hey, my models didn't work, and I was planning on spending this amount of money, and it's all over the place. Well, I quickly moved from monthly looking at my expenses and the growth of my assets to quarterly, probably in the first 2 years. I guess that's not technically in the first 12 months, but I'm giving you the rest of the story. And then I moved to every 6 months just because I felt comfortable about the spending, and things tend to level out. You have these spikes, but then you have these troughs, and it kind of levels out. So that was something I had to work out, and I've got a disciplined process I go through every 6 months now, because it was lumpy. And that was a little bit of surprise for me, because my life was on a spreadsheet, right? 8, overthinking money. The game has changed. You're used to getting money coming in every month, and now it's going out. And it was just something it's a new game. It's totally foreign to me. So I thought about money a lot in the first year, because that's what I prepared for retirement. Now I'm in retirement. I'm diving in. And Lisa and I would be talking about $50 for this and $100 for this. And then the next month we would be, saving $1,000 or something like that. Just spent a lot of time overthinking money. And maybe you have to go through that. But it all settled out. And after a couple years, and now 7 years in, I don't think much about it at all. Number 9, new learning curves are everywhere. New routines, new money systems. YouTube. How am I going to manage YouTube? YouTube can consume you. I could put out 2 videos a day. I try to put out 4 a week. I make them all on one day, one afternoon, from about 12 to 4 on a Tuesday, typically. I'll make all 4 videos, and then that's almost 95% of what I do YouTube-wise. I read the comments as many as I can for about an hour a day, I'll say, max. It can be overwhelming. When am I going to do email? I used to look at email every few hours. Now I look at email about every other day. Okay, I just don't want it to consume me. I spend what's our routine for travel? I don't like travel in the summertime, because everybody travels in the summertime and things are more crowded. So I try to travel in September and October, and also, January, February time periods. So developing all those new routines, and what works best, how I'm going to manage my money, YouTube, email, travel. Those are the things I listed. So a lot of new, which makes retirement exciting, I think. Number 10, too much news. This is a constant battle. I got stuck in this last week. A lot of news going on. Don't want to go into any detail, but it's easy to get addicted. I don't have cable, so I don't watch any news on television, any broadcast news, anything like that. But from YouTube, there's a lot of news on there, and the YouTube algorithm just feeds you this stuff. and it makes me worry, makes me stressful, makes me overthink things. How can people be doing this? It just can consume you. And I had a couple bad days last week, I'll say. Now, yesterday, I spent my time learning how locomotives work and how concrete mixers work, and that's how my mind works. So, and that was more at peace. My mind works that way. I like understanding how the sausage is made. That's a term in my industry. Um, yeah, just be careful of news because you're going to have infinite amount of time to consume it, and a lot of people fall victim to it for years on end. And like I said, I had a couple bad days last week, and it caused me stressful. I was literally upset about the news. Number 11, too many opportunities. Man, I tell you, best advice somebody gave me is for the first 6 months of your retirement, do nothing. Say no to everything. Because the volunteering opportunities that are out there, helping my kids at their houses, just putting out YouTube content, projects around my house, it gets overwhelming very fast. And you can quickly see yourself having 10 hours a day of projects and stuff and that you want to accomplish. And that's a big challenge for me. This week is great. I think I had like 3 things on my calendar this entire week. And it can be overwhelming. So pick and choose and learn to say no. That's a powerful skill you need to learn. Okay, now number 12 is my second biggest shock, okay, is health awareness. This was shocking to me. I loved retirement. Every day is Saturday, and one of the first things I was hit with was, how long is this going to last? And it's not my lifespan, it's my health span. It's my health span. How many years am I going to be able to do whatever I want, go wherever I want, physically and mentally? Health span is not the same, or lifespan is not the same as health span. It's not at all. A lot of the average American, I think their lifespan or health span is like 66. 66. Okay. That's the average. People think, oh, lifespan 90, I'm going to live to 90 and I'm going to be the most active person around. Well, odds are no. Odds are you're going to slow down about 80 a lot. You're going to slow down significantly about 75. Okay. So be careful about, thinking of, how early you need to retire, because, if you work until 70, how many, healthy, active years do you have left? If you're married, it needs to be both of you. Okay, big deal for me. Big deal. How did that affect me? One, I've always exercised, but I started eating a lot better. One ingredient foods, cutting out snacks, things like that. And lost 35 pounds. Number 13, sleep recalibration. This is a funny story. I've told you on previous videos that I do have a problem sleeping, falling asleep. I've had this problem for 12 years or so. I'm going to see a sleep doctor here in April. If you want to see a sleep doctor, there's a long lead time, like 3 months. But I have to take some medicine. It works, but I hate taking medicine. It works. It puts me to sleep. But during my working years, I slept about 7 hours a night. And then when I'd come home from work, I'd always fall asleep on the couch. I'd always take a nap on Saturday and Sunday. I was just always looking for an opportunity to get a nap in, turn on a baseball game during the summertime. Boy, that instantly puts me to sleep, or golf, But I started sleeping 9 hours. 9 hours. No alarm clock. Go to bed about 10, wake up about 7 in the morning, and I never take a nap. Never. That was a big shock for me. I was not getting enough sleep. And sleep affects your recovery time physically. It affects your health and stress level. It's a major contributor to your health is getting appropriate sleep. So that's something in addition to nutrition that I'm doing a lot better, but I need to get off medicine. I don't like it at all. It's a prescription. 14, time acceleration. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Uh, know how when you, or recall how you feel when you take a 1 week vacation, you go out to the mountains or whatever, and how fast it goes by. Retirement's like that. Retirement's all vacation all the time. 7 years retired, it feels more like 2 or 3. Okay, let that sink in. It feels like 2 or 3. Part of that is because it's so bright. You know, I'm not rushed. I'm not stressed. I get plenty of sleep. I do what I want. I like vacation, but it goes by fast. Okay, very fast. Number 15, a strong desire. This is all in the first year. A strong desire to improve my relationships with family and friends. Spend more time with them. Not I'm in a rush. I don't have time to talk. A cold call to somebody, say, how you doing? Just checking in with you. Sitting out on the back porch with somebody, not with an agenda, um, and just talk. That's great. I love that. Number 16, gosh, oh, that's not right. 16, this is the last one. I got my numbering system messed up. I realized retirement is not a destination, where you're just sitting on the couch or sitting on the beach, but it's rather a new journey beginning. And I can start many journeys, and I can restart many journeys, and I can change journeys. It's a creation from a blank sheet of paper. Who do I want to be in retirement? Who do I want to be? It kind of calibrates me to my true self without being influenced by money and society. It's really great. I've had a lot of hobbies I picked up. Most of them I stopped. YouTube is one that's been consistent for me, and volunteering at a couple nonprofits. So, hey, folks, none of these are bad, but it means retirement is real life, real emotions. The first year is about recalibration, and you think it's all about money, but it's not. That'll solve for most people. But then it's like, who am I? Who am I emotionally? All these deprogramming events go on from all these skills and practices I've developed that worked great in the workforce aren't so good in retirement. So if you're feeling restless, guilty, or you have these emotions, it's all natural. You're not wrong. You're just going through what I went through. You're doing what everyone does. You're learning how to live without the structure that was given to you through the workplace. It gets better, it gets calmer, and eventually it's very, very good. I can say my 7th year of retirement is significantly better than my first year of retirement just because I know the game. I know the game. Just Joe out.